You know, some days in fishing, you get surprised by the conditions. You get out here and they're actually better than what you expected. And then there are days like today. Supposed to be no wind today. It's screaming out of the southeast. So I've come into a big lake along a shoreline that's got some protection on a southeast wind. And it's really not too bad here. I positioned myself to where the wind's gonna kind of push me along this bank right here. But the bad news is the tide is way far out. And so the water's kind of shallow up here, real close to the bank. So I don't know if we're gonna find any fish or not. Might have to adjust, but we'll find out soon. Come along with me, let's see what happens. All right, I'm in explore mode and the water's really shallow. So I'm gonna start with this Green Hornet matrix shad, 1/4 ounce death grip jig head, and just kind of beat this bank. I picked this section of shoreline, number one, because it, as I mentioned, provides a lot of protection on this wind, but also it's got a lot of bayous leading into it. And so I'm hoping those areas will have a little bit deeper water and we can really pound those and maybe find a few fish. You know, water right here is 1.2 feet, just not a whole lot of water. You can see that exposed bank. Tide's way, way, way out. We should be at the bottom of the fall. It should be rising soon, particularly with this crazy strong southeast wind. The sun isn't all that high up yet. You can see it back there. So I can't really tell fully what this water clarity is, but it looks pretty good. I'll know for sure in a few minutes. See little cuts like that, that's why I came in here into this stretch. Lots of these. Hopefully they deliver a few fish. Probably would have been, oh, there's a fish right at one of those cuts. Oh, he came off, shoot. No idea what that was. Oh, another hit. Oh, goodness. Well, let's stop here if we can. That did not feel like a red. If it was, it wasn't a big one. Oh, there we go, speckled trout. Speckled trout, that's what we hit. Not a keeper trout. This looks super promising up here. We got a cut draining right off to this point. If it is in fact still draining, who knows? Get the out of here, man. Oh, there's a fish. What the heck is that? Is it a small red? Maybe not so small red. I don't think he's a keeper, but we'll see in a minute. All right. It's a good redfish. I don't think this fish is 18. I know he's over 16. He would have been a keeper under the old regulations, but Louisiana recently changed. Fish have to be 18 inches now. He's got a shot, but I don't think. No, he's 17. This fish gets to swim again. All right, well, it's kind of the target species, so that's good. Glad to have him. It's not quite big enough. Ah, these bees, man, bees everywhere. Every time I get close to these shorelines, haven't gotten stung yet, but man, they're aggressive. Fly in your face. Definitely a nuisance. Okay, this little cut's got some water. This is definitely worth exploring. 2.5 feet right here. I poke our nose up in here. See what we run across. I run across some bees. 3.5 feet. This is a pretty significant little bayou here. 4.5 feet. 5.2 feet. And it's a beehive. This bayou's small but deep. 6 feet. What's it gonna be in this bend? Ah! 8 feet in this bend. It's probably gonna be even deeper up ahead. But look at that bottom. That's clean. No bait, no fish. Oh, there's a fish. No idea what this is. I'm thinking redfish. Yeah, now he's acting like a redfish for sure. I know he smacked it, that's for sure. All right, that's a keeper for sure. All right, there we go. That's about a 19-incher. Definitely a legal fish, right in that bend of that bayou. Look how deep this fish took it. He definitely wanted this bait. I mean, he smoked it. It was a very good hit. Check our line. Yeah, it's in good shape. All right, we're gonna eat this guy. We're gonna take him home. Let's see how big he is. Yeah, he's about 20 inches. My ruler only goes up to 18, so, but that's all I need to know, is that he's over 18. Well, I wish every hit in fishing was like that hit. Life would be easy. I don't know how far up in this bayou I want to go, but it definitely looks intriguing. And I love fishing small bayous. Fellas, find a girl who likes you as much as I like small bayous. I love them. Except this one's full of bees. Okay, now that I'm in this bayou, I can definitely see the tide is rising, for sure. 100%. You know, a little cut like this, it's a little hidden trenasse. I mean, I'll hit these on a rising tide, but your chances are way better on a fall. It's good to know that this tide has flipped and is now rising, because this water is really, really low. Get out of here, damn it. Get out of here, damn it. Tormenting me. I'm working some casts with this gold spinner with a 1/4 ounce death grip jig head and a shrimp creole matrix shad. Definitely seen times where this bait far outcatches just a traditional matrix shad, especially when the fish are like super active. We'll chase a bait. They see this flash from far away and come and smash it. I'd like to throw my ATV crankbait, but I need this water to come up a little bit. The thing doesn't dive much, but it dives more than the amount of water we got along the shoreline. This is just such an awesome shoreline. It's real jagged. Lots of places for fish to hide. Much rather this than just a straight flat shoreline. Okay, I ran across another little bayou here. It's got 3 feet right here at the mouth. So it looks promising. So I'm gonna switch back to the matrix shad. See what we find up in here. Water's definitely moving really, really well. You see some good tide lines. 4 feet at the mouth of this little bayou, so that's a good sign. We'll definitely be deeper in the bends. 6 feet right here in the straightaway. So you know that bend's got to be eight or 9 feet, maybe even 10 feet. Boy, a nice little 3-way right here. This is quite a find. This would really be something on a falling tide. Got to file this away in the memory bank. Oh, I missed him. I got drilled. I don't know how I missed that fish. He absolutely tattooed it. We're gonna post up here, make a couple of casts in there. Maybe it's not the only fish. Yep, there's another one. Another hit anyway. That might have been a trout. That first one was not a trout, that's for sure. He was hooked up for a second. Definitely a nice red. Just went and looked on the map and got some more 3-ways coming up. Got a couple bites, one really good bite at that other one. Made a few casts after that and nothing. So we'll check out some of these other 3-ways up ahead. All right, just one of them. And the reason these can be so good is that they kind of confuse the current. Oh, there we go. This feels weird. I'm not sure what this is. Might be a red. No, a flounder, beautiful flounder. Oh, I lost him. Shoot, man, that sucks. I almost always net flounder. And that's kind of the reason why. That was a beautiful flounder, big doormat. Kind of just went off of impulse and tried to flip him. Flounder has such bony mouths. It's really hard to get a good hook set. But I think I was saying these splits kind of cause confused current and give fish places to ambush bait. I mean, you can see water's actually torpedoing there, or eddying, tornadoing. Just a great place for a fish to hide out and wait for the bait to come to him. Man, I hate losing that flounder. Gonna think about that one tonight when I'm going to bed. Oh, there's something. Speckled trout. All right, little guy. Settle down. I'm gonna let you go. This is a fish that's not big enough, not mature, not gonna move outside to spawn this summer. Just gonna stay in this marsh, filling its belly, growing, and by the fall, he'll be legal for harvest. Got another beautiful three-way coming up. Man. Oh, missed him. Oh, he came back. Oh, nice trout. All right, that's a keeper. All right. That's about a 14-inch fish. Even under the new regs, that's a keeper. Good to see. Now, that's a fish that should be mature, but he just hadn't got the signal to move out yet. And now he'll never get the signal because we're taking him home. And as you can tell, we're here in another three-way. This is why I love exploring in South Louisiana, fishing new stuff, finding new things. You just never know what's around any bend. Oh, another hit. That one left me a scale. Not a very big scale. I don't think he's all that big of a fish. Oh, there's a redfish. Dadgummit, I spooked him. Look at that, you see his dust cloud. I saw him at the last second. About a 20-inch fish, blue tail, real blue tail. I saw him, he saw me. Nothing you can do about it. Oh, something's busting bait. Look at that. Look at that. That's got to be a red. I'd say it's trout, but there's not really enough water in here for it to be a trout. This bayou's gotten shallow. 2 feet right here in the middle. Good place and time to throw that ATV. Oh, there we go. Okay, I guess it is trout. All right. Whew, I don't know, buddy. I appreciate the thought. I'm not sure you're 13. Yeah, I don't want a hook in my hand, that's for sure. Oh, look at that. He threw up some shrimp leg. Man, he got that ATV really, really well. Nah, he's 12 and a half. He does not make the cut. Oh, another hit. Missed him. Probably another trout. Oh, yeah, he stayed hooked up. For a minute anyway. He was not a keeper, I saw him. Well, that's definitely what was busting that bait, these trout. This ATV dives about 1.5 feet. Really, the way I fish it, it dives about 1 foot. It's a smaller profile bait, as you can tell. It's really productive. Everything hits it. Speckled trout, redfish, and bass. Of course, the area I'm fishing right now, you wouldn't expect to run across a bass. Water's too salty. Oh, what is another trout? Little bitty. Oh, good night. That might be a keeper. Yeah, I don't think. Ooh, he ate his Wheaties. Last year keeper. He got both hooks. That's why he didn't get free. My eyes have finally adjusted, so I can tell a 13-inch trout without even measuring him. And he ain't one. Kind of reached the end of the road here. We got a big pond. You can imagine on a fall, all that water be dumping out of that pond into this bayou. I mean, that bend right there is 7.5 feet. So this would be like, I mean, you got these little trenasses coming in, just be prime area on a falling tide. But you know, through a lot of South Louisiana in the summer, the falling tide is at night. You can get the edges of it, you know, the beginning of the fall in the afternoon or the end of the fall in the morning, depending on where you are in the tide cycle. But you're generally not going to have very long to fish a falling tide in the summer, unless you fish at night. And I don't do that. That changes in the fall. And then it's very, very easy to fish a falling tide. And believe me, I will file this away in my memory bank, and I will be back here for sure in the fall. Heck, I'm going to be back here in the summer because this is awesome. I mean, it's not like it's bad on a rising tide. Just not as good as it could be, for sure. But I'm having a blast catching a variety of fish. Obviously the trout are on the small side. That's what you expect this time of year. But on any cast, you catch a red, catch a doormat flounder like the one I lost, still not over it. Catch a black drum. And if you had bait, I'm sure you catch sheep's head. What is that? A speck, I think. Sure is. This bayou's full of trout. Just a bunch of little guys this time of year. That'll change in about 3 months, maybe even a little less than that. Sometimes the fish start showing up inside the middle of August. You don't have like big numbers, obviously, but you start catching more keeper-sized fish. Usually though, it's kind of like mid-September that they start showing up. And after your first good cool front in October, then they're kind of set up inside. The ones that are going to come inside. Some trout, once they reach a certain age, just stay out in the big bays. They overwinter out in the big bays. And you know, fishing this way, those little guys are really, they're fun to catch. They are. You're obviously not adding any meat to your box, but you still get to feel that really hard tap. You know, trout just smash baits. They're super aggressive when they hit. Now, when they're little, you get a lot of swings and misses. Didn't miss that one, but missed the one right before him. Man, good night, dude. That's a really small one. Even still, fish that size will be legal this fall. They grow every day. I mean, they're in here just stuffing their faces every day. You know, you can go outside to the big water this time of year and catch, you know, definitely some bigger trout than what we're catching today, for sure. Just not really my thing. And not only that, on a day like today, there's no chance. Nowhere can you get out in a big bay with the wind blowing 15 to 20. That's just not possible. So I avoid that style of fishing. I just really, I mean, look at this. Look, just gorgeous. I love the marsh. This is where I love to be. Just exploring new water, finding new things. And there's endless areas like this in South Louisiana. I've been fishing here all my life, and I've never fished this particular bayou. And there's bayous all over the coast I've never fished. Oh, there's a fish. Another speck. He might be a keeper. Are you a keeper, dude? I think you are. If we get you. You're going crazy. Yeah, you're looking less keeper. Less keeperish. You will hit the tape. You're gonna be really, really close. Man, you're gonna be close. Long and skinny. Let's see. Let's see if you can make the cut. Take a boat ride home. This fish could not be closer. He's 12 7/8. We stuck a tag in him. Gonna let him go. Man, the wind has really picked up since we've been in this bayou. Hopefully it hasn't changed directions, because we got no way back other than across that lake. We'll be protected if it's still southeast. Oh, what is that? That doesn't feel like a trout unless he's foul hooked. Maybe another flounder? Oh, nice trout. There we go. Real nice trout. You don't expect to catch fish that size inside this time of year. You're always glad when you do. You definitely need some pliers for him. He is hooked in the gills. It's about a 16-incher. I mean, definitely a nice fish for being inside. And when you know, he's at a 3-way. Okay, I've re-reached the mouth of this bayou where it meets the lake that I was fishing. And the water's absolutely flying in. As you might expect with a southeast wind, it's just roaring. That could help me on that shoreline of that lake. But man, this wind is just whipping. Way worse than we went in this bayou. Well, there's something. Not sure what. Oh, nice trout. Real nice trout. Whoa, stay in the boat. I mean, real nice for inside in the summer. There's another one. There's another one. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna make it. Hasn't come up yet. We'll see. You're as big as your buddy? You might be. Oh, redfish. Look at that. Just an absolute beautiful redfish. Obviously not big, but look how spotted he is. Just a beautiful fish. All right, dude, get out there and grow. Obviously, that's just a great ambush point for those fish. You got this rising tide coming this way, coming up into this bayou. And they're just sitting there waiting for Mother Nature to bring them stuff to eat. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and call it a trip. It's getting really, really windy. I gotta cross this lake, heading way back that way. Fortunately, I'll be mostly protected, but by the time I get out there, it's definitely gonna be rough, no doubt about it. I mean, the wind is going to extreme levels. It's blowing 25, something like that, maybe even 30. It's blowing really, really hard. Not looking forward to this run. But you know, part of the culture down here in South Louisiana, of course, is catching all these fish that we're so blessed with down here. But it's also eating what we catch. I release a ton of fish, mostly tag and release them. But I also like to keep a few, because my wife and I love fish. We eat it a lot. You know, you figure this is free range, wild protein, right? This is what you kind of pay extra for in a store. And we've got it right here available just anytime you want to go grocery shopping. So I got something in mind that I'm gonna be doing with these fish. And you know, they're gonna be fresh and super tasty. So stick with me. Next time you see me, I'll be in my kitchen. All right, that's about as good of a trip as you could hope to have in the summertime fishing inside water. Definitely really kind of exceeded my expectations, particularly pushing back and finding all those bayous with all those 3-ways. It was really, really cool. Cannot wait to get back in there. But now I'm in my kitchen. I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do with these fish. I did keep that redfish, but I'm gonna save that for another time. I'm gonna go ahead and cook these speckled trout. Let me show you what I got. All right, first off, got some flour. And I've got some seasoning. I'm gonna go ahead and season that flour in just a minute. Got a beer, definitely not required, but I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do with that. Got some ketchup, mayo, bread and butter pickles, some shredded lettuce, a tomato, some burger buns, and of course the main ingredient. Well, right behind me, I got my cast iron skillet. It's blazing hot, and I got my tallow. I'm gonna use that to go ahead and fry up these speckled trout fillets. I'm making old-fashioned New Orleans po' boys on a bun. Now you can make this with corn flour or cornmeal, of course. I'm actually allergic to corn, can't eat it, so I make mine just with regular flour. All right, go ahead and open this beer. And just pour that in this bowl. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and take our fish fillets. I've already cut them, as you can tell, just to make them about bun size, since I'm gonna be eating these on a bun. So we dip them in our flour first. Then dip them in our beer. And then dip them in the flour again. All right, well-coated fillet. And we just repeat that with all of our fillets. Now I'm only making enough for Mrs. Marshman and me. So what I don't want to do is batter all the fish ahead of time, because then the batter has a tendency to come off. Just want to batter enough for each pan load. All right, our pan is super hot. You can see it's smoking. We'll go ahead and add some tallow. I definitely want a pretty good amount of tallow. But like, yay. If you're new to the channel, I do most of my cooking with tallow, just 1,000 times better than seed oil, better for you, and also just, you end up with a much better product. All right, add our fillets in. All right, something else we need is some butter. I really like to toast my buns. So much better. First though, we're gonna flip our fish. Yep, that's a really, really good crust. You know, growing up in the New Orleans area, this was a very typical Friday night meal for us. Either my parents would order out po' boys, I would always get either fried shrimp or fried fish, or we just make them at home. So this is kind of getting back to my roots, no doubt about it. And it happens to actually be Friday night tonight, July 12th, so this is gonna be a treat. All right, batch 1 is done. We're gonna throw in batch 2. Put in a little bit more tallow. Good thing about this, really quick and easy. We're gonna be eating very soon. Oh, and I guess I should mention that beer is not necessary. You could definitely use milk. You could also use mustard, maybe watered down mustard. I like to water it down just a little bit, but beer just kind of adds a nice yeasty taste that's really hard to beat. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and butter up these buns and get those toasted. Using my big cast iron skillet so I can fit all 4 halves of these buns. So keep an eye on those, make sure they don't burn. All right, these buns are done. At least that one's done. Time to flip our fish. Oh yeah. All right, there we go. There's our toasted buns. And while our last batch of fish is finishing up, we'll go ahead and get these ready. Okay, we're gonna add a little bit of mayo to each. Then some ketchup. Hopefully don't come out watery. Nope, did all right. Then pickles. I like these bread and butter pickles, but if you like dill, use dill, whatever. And then a slice of tomato. Put that on each one. Some shredded lettuce. We'll take off our fish. All right, then we're gonna add the main ingredient to each of our little bun po' boys. It only holds about, well, really a total of 1 fillet. All right, look at that. Is that beautiful or what? That's gonna be good. This is from Mrs. Marshman. All right, and there's mine. Hopefully I don't burn my mouth, which I have a tendency to do. Let's see. Oh yeah, hot. So good. Takes me right back to my youth. You know, I said you don't really need the beer, but it definitely adds a really, really good element. And of course, toasting that bun. I mean, you can make a sandwich, on cold bread, but toasting that bun makes a big, big difference. So good, so delicious. Super simple, you saw how easy it was. Easy for you to make these at home. Well, hopefully you enjoyed the video as much as I did putting it together. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Also subscribe to the Marshman Masson channel on YouTube. And until next time, if we don't see you in the marsh or here in my kitchen, we'll see you right here on Marshman Masson.